Have you ever wondered if you will ever get to the place where you actually enjoy exercise or working out and doing something that is for not only yourself today, but you 5, 10, 15 years from now? Let me share with you in this episode how I learned to love exercise. Let's go. Welcome to Reps and Redemption. What would your life look like if you started to prioritize your health and your faith? Have you been up late at night Googling healthy grocery lists, upper body workouts, or quiet time with God ideas? Hey there, I'm Ashley Harvey, college athlete, Jesus follower, now wife and stay-at-home mom of 3 daughters. In this podcast, you will be motivated to build your physical strength, increase in biblical wisdom, and utilize tactical health tips. If you're ready to be a part of a like-minded community of moms who want to be bold in their faith and live well, you're in the right place. Grab an iced coffee or a Celsius and head to the gym. Let's dive in. Hey there, welcome back to Reps and Redemption. I am so glad you are here with us today. Thank you for tuning in, and actually don't forget to share this episode with a friend if you find it helpful. So the topic of today's discussion is going to be quick and simple. I'm just going to share with you how I learned to love exercise and fitness and all things health. So it is a little bit packed, but we're going to stay kind of on the surface with this topic today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or DM me on Instagram, and I would love to go further. But where I wanted to hit today is how I learned to love exercise, and in particular, strength training. So I think, we all kind of go through seasons of life, right? Where we are feeling good. We want to hit the gym. We're going to do some cardio. We might touch this weight or that weight. We might play around a little bit as long as we work out. And that's great. I mean, just going is, especially with kids, right, is a huge achievement in and of itself. But I haven't always been this way. And I think where it started was years and years ago, actually probably about 15 years ago, even though I started working out around 22 years ago now. And I think where the answer to this question is super simple is that I have always been consistent with working out and exercise. So what I mean by that is every season in my life, whether it's pre-marriage, before I even knew my husband, before kids were even a thought in my mind, it became a lifestyle and a habit. And habits, as you know, stacked upon one another, become our lifestyle. So it was actually really easy for me to implement once I got married and became a mom. And I shouldn't say easy. It was a lot simpler because I had already been doing it. And, somebody will say, oh, I feel naked without that. Or, oh, I would just feel so, exposed if I didn't have, my favorite hair tie. I don't know. I'm just giving you examples. But it is how I feel. If I am not able to exercise the way and train the way that I want in the season that I'm in, I do feel a little bit of emptiness in the sense of not like fully fulfilled, even though, I believe in the Lord. I love Jesus, and he is my ultimate source of happiness and fulfillment. And so is my husband and my kids. But there's still that thing, that you wish you could do if you're not able to do it. And for me, one of those things is working out. So I do feel a little bit of a void. Of course, I feel that way because it has become so normal in my life. So I would say the big secret, and I'll just kind of dive in a little bit more too, but I would say the big secret with how I learned to love exercise and strength training is that I was always consistent. And when I say always, what I mean by that is even when I didn't want to go to the gym, work out, go for a run, whatever it was, and whatever I was focusing on training at the time, even if I didn't want to, even if I didn't feel like it, even if I rather sit on the couch and watch a movie, I used to run really late at night because it was the season that I was in. And I lived in a safe, for the most part, town, and I ran at 9, 10 p.m., sometimes 3, 5, 6, 8 miles. And it was rejuvenating for me to do that. And I just made it an effort to do it, even if I didn't want to. So if you're in a season where you're wondering, how am I going to love exercise? Like, I feel like it's hard enough to get there with kids, or even just walk out of the house while maybe your spouse watches the kids, or you have someone come over for an hour to help you out, or you're packing them in the stroller and you're like, okay, how am I going to do this? I truly don't feel like it, or this is very difficult. And let me tell you, I was working out without having children, and I had exercised. I have exercised longer than I've actually been a wife and a mom. So I know the struggle is real to try to get on the pavement, or to get in the weight room, or to just get in your garage, or to just go for a walk. I know the struggle is very real. And also we struggle with other things now too, with, is our kids club clean? Are they going to get sick? Does this mean I'm going to be out for the next 2 weeks because they get sick? So there's all these factors that come into play, and it's not just you anymore. It's not about your schedule and what you want to do and if you want to go for a late night run. Now, actually, that would probably be a lot easier for me. However, I am in the season of lifting a little bit heavier. I want to put on muscle while pregnant, so I don't do as much cardio when I want to do that. I try to do about, let's say, maybe an hour of cardio a week combined, and that includes like walking outside. So, and sometimes my walks are 20 minutes, and sometimes they're only 10 if my little 1-year-old is like, all done. So I kind of have to go with the flow. But if you're consistent, and what I mean by that is consistent for your season. So, of course, before I was married and I had kids, I was definitely there every day, six days out of the week. And it was quite simple to make it happen. Now, I'll give you an example. Last week, it was very tough actually, I didn't make it to the gym at all because my 1-year-old was under the weather. And I had to figure out really quickly what I was going to do. In the meantime, I don't have heavy weights here in my garage, although I do wish I did. So I had to do some full body movements. I was able to work out at my daughter's jujitsu class. There's like a little gym there, and that I am super blessed to be able to do that. So I did get in 3 workouts, not as heavy as I wanted to, not as consistent. I love hitting 4 to 5 days a week. But the point is that if you make it a priority, no matter what, and like today, I got to the gym with 32 minutes before the kids club closed. And I said, okay, I know I can squat. I know I can work on some hamstrings. And I know that if I have like 10 minutes to spare, maybe I'll just hit the Stairmaster, even though like I'd rather lift, but I know that it works my lower body quite quickly, and it'll get my heart rate up a little bit, and that'll be great. So that's what I did. And ideally, yeah, I would love an hour. I would love an hour and a half, but it was just not in the cards for me today. We are struggling with, I shouldn't say struggling, we're transitioning to 1 nap, and we are transitioning from my 1-year-old from her goat milk formula to regular milk. We're trying different milks because she will try it and throw the bottle at you. So we're in a weird place, and it's not exactly, and I have to make it before the kids club closes. Otherwise I can't go. So I just have to make it work. And if you aim for that consistency where whether your kids are with you or you have childcare or you have to get them to from point A to point B to be able to accomplish that. And then I would say the second tip I would have for you is that, to learn to love exercise. It's really hard to do it if you're doing things that you don't enjoy. So if you're going into it and you really want to work lower body or upper body, right? And, someone tells you or you feel like you need to do certain things, you're not really going to make it an effort to actually get to do, actually get to working out the way that you want to and the way that your body enjoys it and the way that you feel good. So I've said this before in other episodes, is that just do things that you want to do. Do things that you enjoy. Worry about the heaviness later. Worry about the, tracking it in a couple weeks. Just get there. And if you're like, I would love, to get a little bit stronger in my shoulders and get a little bit more upper body definition, then focus on upper body. And during that routine, add in maybe one leg exercise that that doesn't make you cringe or doesn't make you like, oh my gosh, I so don't want to do that. Something that you can do that isn't, oh so terrible. And do things that you love. Because, and even if you don't have anything you love yet, do things that you've been wanting to try or do things that you like. And then I would also suggest that if you don't know how to do something that you've been wanting to do, to obviously YouTube it. That one's super easy. There's a lot of places that you could go to, proper form for a squat or pile squats with a dumbbell. You can go to, if you wanted to do bent over rows, certain things like that, and you weren't exactly sure on the form. And then also you could always ask. I don't really think that's an issue. I think a lot of people who work at the gym would actually love to be asked how to do something. I don't know like how busy they are, but some of the people I know at the gym I go to, they're really busy, and then they got like, blips of time where I'm sure they would love to help any of us just show us how to do something. And they don't have to be experts at it. They just need to know the motion. They need to know how your form should be and the proper, and you should know your weight a little bit. So always start light. You can always add more later. And don't be afraid to ask. I think that it's really helpful to have some sort of coach, show you what to do and maybe give you some tips on how to lift and how to lift for certain body parts or just, building muscle like this show is all about in many different ways. I hope that this episode has helped you and inspired you to just get started. And I don't think that there's anything else that is more important than being consistent with whatever season you're in. And listen, like I said last week, I didn't make it at all. But I think the comforting part in that is that I know that I'll be back. Like, it's not really a question in my mind. Like, oh my gosh, when am I gonna, I don't know. It's just never been like that for me. I just know that this is a habit that I've created over the years, and it's become my lifestyle, and it's in turn part of what makes me me. And I absolutely love it. So it gets easier with time, and the more consistent you are and the more often you do things you love, you're going to find yourself, oh, I wish I went today instead of just did XYZ, or you're going to start feeling off And that's good because we want to be an example of health and fitness for our kids. This isn't just a selfish thing. This isn't just, and it can be a little bit, and I think that's okay if it's in its proper place. It's something that we are challenged to take care of our bodies and our temples, and our kids, our daughters, need to see mom take care of herself and feel good. And let me tell you, I know I was only at the gym for 32 minutes today, but it was awesome. And it was exactly what I needed. It was exactly what my kids needed, a little break from mom to go play and pick them up after I got a quick sweat. And it just changes the trajectory of our day. Kind of, it's the same as, spending time with the Lord in the morning. Honestly, for me, it's like totally up there. It's definitely not the same, but it's up there. And I hope that you can find time in your schedule and look at it, see where all your kids are at, see what would work best for you. And remember that you are in charge of your time way more than you think you are. If this episode motivated, inspired, or challenged you, will you share with a friend? I would be so grateful if you could leave Reps and Redemption an Apple Podcast review. This is the only way I know you like the show. Please join the Facebook group for accountability and community. Link in the show notes. Be bold, mama, and live well. Until next time.